racing with Michelin.
Freeparking.co.uk. The easy way to get your business online.
Speed's coverage of the Detroit Sports Car Challenge is presented by Bosch Clean Diesel Power. Brought to you in part by Just For Men. Stay in the game with Just For Men hair color. And by Chevy, an American revolution. We welcome you back to Detroit's Belle Isle. And of course, racing was put on the map here in Motown with Formula One many years ago, and then here at Belle Isle, Champ Car, we had Touring Car. There are a variety of types of racing going on here, including Trans Am, where our good friend Dorsey Schrader was victorious twice right here on this very track. And Dorse, that qualifies you to talk us around the Acura track map.
Well, 2.09 miles in length, 14 corners. I said it's fast corners. It starts that way anyway. Turn 1, 2, and 3, very quick. Turn 1 has no runoff. If you spin, you'll wreck into the wall. Turn 2 has a creek across. The bridge will get the car real loose for you. And the braking zone into 3, that's one of the best passing zones. Problem is that the crown of the road, as you leave one road and turn on the other, loosens the car up. Then you sweep through a left-hand sweeper to this complex. 4, 5, 6, first gear, no room to pass there. You can try up there in turn 7, but it's not a very good place to pass because it's the most important for exit speed. It leads on the long back straightaway. Then the back part of the course, mostly right-hand bends, and you really don't have much opportunity for passing. One good one up ahead you see is the brake zone up into 12. That turns you back as you head toward pit lane. And when you make that corner on the pit lane very fast, that's a third gear corner, probably 120 miles an hour, and the front straightaway or pit straightaway, well, it's not straight. It's got a big looping right-hand bend on it. You see the cars now as they go by pit in off to the right, their left-hand side of the screen. That's at about 140 miles per hour, and if you make a mistake, sorry.
This place looks a picture today, and weather is on our side. Let's see how they line up on our Bosch starting grid, and let's introduce you to our 4 respective class pole sitters.
Hi, I'm Ryan Briscoe from Sydney, Australia.
Hi, I'm Sasha Maassen from Raren in Belgium.
I'm Dino Caprello from Santo Stefano Belbo, Piemonte, Italy.
Alan McNish from Dumfries in Scotland.
Hi, I'm Johnny O'Connell from Flowery Branch, Georgia.
Jan Manussen from Roskilde, Denmark.
Hi everybody, I'm John Maria Bruni and I'm coming from Italy.
Hi, my name is Eric Elary and I'm coming from France, Paris.
There they are, the remainder of the grid rolling across at the top of your screen with thanks to Bosch. And the crowd has rolled in. They are welcoming motor racing back to Motor City. And they are voting with their feet. Look at that. Glorious weather. It's been beautiful for the whole week since we've been here. And a great doubleheader weekend with not only the American Le Mans Series but also the Indy cars as well. And we've got a 6-pack of onboards for you. The number 2 Audi, the pole-sitting Porsche, right in the middle there, number 6, the sister car of the 7. 2 Acuras in the Prototype 2 class, the Andretti Green and the Highcroft Racing, and then the 31 Peterson White Lightning Ferrari. Ready to roll here at Belle Isle for the Detroit Sports Car Challenge, round 10 of the American Le Mans Series. The season is winding down, but it is far from over. And there is a lot of business yet to be done, most notably for the Audis. They desperately want to come back here in Detroit. You heard Alan McNish earlier talk to Brian Till. They knew that they should have had a victory a week ago in Mosport Canada. Can they come back here today at Belle Isle? People wrote them off at St. Petersburg in Florida earlier in the year on a similar circuit. They may bounce back today.
Well, they form up. I'll tell you one thing, don't get antsy at the start here. Like I said, in turn 1, if you make contact in turn 1, well, it can block the whole racetrack. It's happened to us before in Trans Am. Hopefully it won't happen here.
On board the 2 of Marco Werner, almost got the P1 pole, and then in the dying moments of qualifying, Alan McNish stole it away from his teammate. A lot of smoke coming from the Intersport car of Clint Field. They're packed, they're formed, and they're released. Racing back on the streets of Detroit here at Belle Isle. And what a glorious sight it is. Big lock up from one of the Dysons into turn 1.
Wow, through there, okay, but there was contact. We'll have to look now to see if we have a cut tire or if any more problems from that contact.
Debris was flying through the air, but thankfully everyone got through the opening few turns safely. It is Ryan Briscoe who leads the way over Timo Bernard and Marino Franchitti, who also has unfinished business after last week in Canada. Felt he had a chance, and he was hounding Romain Dumas when electrical problems struck the Andretti Green Acura.
This is up into turn 8. This is the place. Well, here's one of the cars that has spun, the 73.
That's Dominic Farnbacher, who's done a lovely job this weekend. Was very fast right from the get-go, but something has gone wrong for the Tafel Porsche. Let's take you back to the start. We've had a report that it is the 9 car, the Highcroft Acura. Check this out. Into turn 1.
Boy, it gets in really deep. And here is the contact right there. Hits the 20 Dyson car, takes off the 2 little winglets on the left front. Oh, good chopper cam here. We'll see this.
David Brabham goes diving on the inside of Guy Smith.
And there it is. There's a contact. Those winglets that we saw provide downforce on the nose. We'll look at Dominic Farnbacher and see what's happened to him in the Porsche. He's up on the curb. Maybe a little help from behind there. I'm not sure. Possibly some help.
Any damage on the right rear? It's hard to tell, but
looks like it, but he backed it into the wall a little bit there.
Penske Porsches up front are starting to eke out a little margin of advantage. Clint Field is in the 37 Intersport.
We saw smoke from this car on the pace lap. Not a good sign.
Creation Judd comes to a stop. Cal.
Well, Clint Field comes into his pit box just shaking his head. I just looked at Brian Aldi. He said no clue what it is right now. So the hood is coming off this, and this is a team that are looking ahead. They're looking to the future. They have a new race car, one of the ex-Dyson cars, a Lola that will be running at the next round at Petit Le Mans. So this is really the last round we expect to see this combination, the Creation Judd, but a disappointing start to the day.
Did not go out this morning in the morning warm-up. Check this out, the view from the Peterson White Lightning Ferrari. Clint Field up ahead.
Well, right up the exhaust tailpipe, you see smoke now getting heavy. Not a good sign whatsoever. We saw that car smoking on the pace lap. Also, it did not participate in the final practice before this race. So I think they knew something might be wrong.
Check out Guy Smith on Marino Franchitti. Guy said he felt he had a better race car than a qualifying car. Mind you, he put in a terrific effort in qualifying. So the 20 is performing nicely. Guy Smith starts to increase the pressure on Marino Franchitti. Meanwhile, Ryan Briscoe has a 1.5 second lead over Timo Bernard. Then it's Franchitti, then it's Guy Smith. That's the top 4. All prototype 2 cars. And the first P1 car is Alan McNish in 5th overall.
This is a very difficult course to pass on. One of the good places is here, off the long back straightaway into turn 8. It also is tricky because, again, you're turning off of one road onto another, and the crown of the roads here make it the surface is not even.
Jan Magnussen leads GT1. Mika Salo, Farisi Competizione leads GT2. So they're settled into a rhythm now, and it's Penske 1 and 2. With the rest of the field chasing. There's McNish. Can they turn the tables on these lighter P2 cars? We will find out. That's the big question that begs today as our race leader, Ryan Briscoe, enjoys the Detroit sunshine. We'll be back.
Kind of valve train cover.
So a great start there by Alan McNish, going from 7th to 5th on that first lap. He went past David Brabham, went past Luis Diaz. Marco Werner also took Luis Diaz in the Fernandez Lowe's Acura. So the field getting strung out already. The gap 5.2 seconds now between Ryan Briscoe and Marino Franchitti in 3rd place. Marino the best of the rest. But look at these Porsches going away, the Spiders. These cars just really are the class of the 2007 ALMS season, riding on board with Alan McNish again, and McNish right up the back of Guy Smith. Guy Smith in the Dyson Porsche. They're really getting to grips of those cars now, and interestingly, Guy outperforming Andy Wallace in qualifying. Andy and Butch Leitzinger having some issues with that car, qualifying in fact in 9th place, which is where they're running at the moment, but we're on board with the 750 horsepower, 1500 newton meters of torque in the Audi, but Alan just cannot get the power down on this circuit around these concrete walls, the bumpy track. This is a park in the rest of the week. It's a layout which is a bit like St. Petersburg, except without the airfield section. It's like Long Beach. It's used by everyday traffic, by joggers, by people out enjoying themselves Sunday in the park. It's a very, very old park. This created in 1902, and in fact had America's first ever public aquarium, for what that's worth. Big battles all through the field going on though. Great racing here from Belle Isle, and this is the battle between the Porsches at the moment. They're getting a little bit strung out there as we're looking at Dirk Muller and Darren Law fighting things out, but that Tafel Porsche coming back from problems. They crashed the car heavily yesterday morning, had it rebuilt, and then they got caught up on that first corner. Let's go back to our speed commentators.
We're back at Belle Isle, and what a sight it is. The American Le Mans Series debut performance at this renowned racetrack. And just take a look at that for an interesting statistic. There are 10 engine manufacturers competing in the ALMS, more than NASCAR, Champ Car and IndyCar combined. And that is just one of the flavors that makes ALMS so tasty. Still Ryan Briscoe and Timo Bernard, 1-2 in the Penske Porsche Spiders. But let's roll back and check some of the other classes. Jan Magnussen is leading GT1, and in GT2 it's Mika Salo. In fact, it's a Risi Competizione 1-2, and it's a Ferrari 1-2-3. Dorset staying as it was in qualifying.
Yeah, the guys in the Ferrari group really did good. 1, 2, 3. Normally there's just the two of them, but they added a third, and of course then that one comes and qualifies third, and they do have some legs here at this racetrack.
This is a good little scrap here because Eric Ellery is under siege from Dirk Muller, and it was the 62 Risi car that grabbed the class pole with Jean-Marie Bruni, and that was electrifying. Mika Salo gave it everything he had in qualifying and couldn't overcome Jimmy Bruni's time. There was nothing in it. And we've just received an update for you that no penalty will be assessed between David Brabham and Guy Smith. The contact on the opening lap, opening corner. It was just a big bold move from Brabs.
It was a great bold move from Brabs. But had they spun, remember, that racetrack down there has nowhere to go. There's a wall on the outside, so not a good idea to mix it up down there. This is the long back straightaway we talk about. It's windy, as you can tell, but the brake zone down here into turn 8, it's probably the second most troublesome area on the racetrack. You see all the differences in concrete to asphalt. Well, they all have different grip levels as well. So for the drivers, it's very, very hard to get a handle on the car because it's got good grip some places, not so good others.
While we talk GT2 and things are going well for these two Ferraris, things aren't going so well at Rahal Letterman Racing. Tell us more, Brian.
Lee, this team has had 2 good finishes in the last 2 races, both of them podium finishes, but Ralph Kellner is struggling today. Left rear of this Porsche, something in the suspension came loose on the upright where the A-arms connect to the upright, so a long stop in here. They've gotten it back together, but this racetrack's so rough in some places, you got to wonder, it just hasn't worn on this car throughout the weekend. They've got it back tightened up. Now there's going to be a penalty assessed. One of the crew members did not have his goggles down when he was over pit wall earlier, so there'll be a hold here, and then they'll get Ralph Kellner's back on track.
3 podiums in the last 4 races for that car, and the 22 Paynos is on pit road as well.
This looks like a suspension situation as well. They've got the tire off. You see him now putting the jack under the jack stand as a safety feature. They have work to do on the left front. I would say suspension, just like we saw on the Porsche.
Dorsey, I'm looking at right now, they've got actually a left front upright out, so it's going to be another lengthy stop for these guys. And once again, you know, this rough circuit can really take its toll. That upright sitting there waiting, and the crew right now just talking about what they're going to do. Bill Auberlin's going to climb from this Paynos Esperante while the crew does some work, guys.
Well, Brian, you said it. The racetrack itself, it pummels the car. You'll see it when we look on the onboard shots. You see it when we have the overhead shots that these cars, all these pavement seams are not level pavement seams. It's what makes turn 3 so tricky, turn 8 so tricky.
Let's talk prototype 2 for a moment as we ride with Marino Franchitti, who has just been overtaken by Alan McNish. So McNish has moved up into 3rd overall, but this is the view from Franchitti's Acura. Looking back at Guy Smith, David Brabham, the next car in view. This young man needs to be applauded. He has come on with every single race in this year's American Le Mans Series. Big responsibility, stepping into a team like Andretti Green Racing, and he's grown with every event.
He's done really well. We love Marino. He's a great guy, and his talent may be underrated. I don't know. I mean, he has done a really good job for this team, and he's shown that he has the quality to be able to be a top-class driver in anything. See here, traffic, really a problem. When you make this corner, watch up ahead. You've got 3 first-gear corners all in a row. And you can get frustrated in traffic, and if you get frustrated here, it'll reach out and bite you.
You can see there, Marco Werner, the next car in shot. This is the scrap for 3rd in class. Franchitti is 4th overall. And it's yet to be announced, yet to be determined whether Marino will actually start in the next round at Petit Le Mans. He's crossing his fingers that he will get the ride, but he's not 100% sure. As always, we'll hand over to regular teammate Brian Herter, who has kart experience, champ car experience on this circuit before. And Guy Smith is doing a nice job in the Dyson. It's Acura versus Porsche in prototype 2. Up front, Ryan Briscoe continues to lead P2 and the race overall. In fact, he has a 3.6 second lead over the sister Penske car of Timo Bernard. Whoa, we've got a spinner. Who is it? It's the 6. Briscoe has thrown it away whilst in the lead of the race.
Now, here's your problem. How do you get turned around? At least there's a runoff here. He's smart to use it.
Well, he was 3.6 seconds in front of Timo, so it definitely wasn't contact between those two.
So easy to do here. I talk about the uneven surfaces. When you're braking, you from here onto that concrete, all of a sudden gain grip or you lose grip. One mistake at this place and you're around.
So how many went by? What was the damage?
Well, I spoke to Ryan Briscoe this morning about the racetrack. I congratulated him on the pole position. I said, but this racetrack looks very tricky, and he agreed. He said it's very much like Surfers Paradise, Lee. He said the entries with the crown is very easy to miss your turn-in point, and once you commit, you really have a problem. But here you see he's right back in the mix with all the prototypes. He is under pressure right now, and as Roger Penske said, no mistakes. You've got to maintain that track position.
Speaking of commitment, how about Marco Werner? That was a very savvy move. Right through on the inside, got past Guy Smith. Now he approaches Marino Franchitti. Here's the replay. Briscoe on the inside. Oh, and he gets together. Was it Mika Salo? Or was it the sister Risi car? It may have been Salo.
Well, let me tell you, in the drivers' meeting, there was a confrontation. Here you see the onboard. Confrontation between the P1, P2 cars and the GT2 cars. The GT2 cars said, the driver said, we're tired of you guys muscling us around. Give us some racing space. We're not going to pull over for you. Classic example.
Well, you could throw that one either way. Maybe more patience on Ryan's part, or did Mika know he was there? It's one of those tough ones.
Well, on this circuit, you know, there's just, you got to give and you got to take. You can't just be shoving your nose in all the time and expect these GT2 guys to get out of the way. They won't always do it for you. There was a prime example of one not.
Speaking of GT2, that was Dirk Muller and Eric Ellery, 2nd and 3rd in class. This is the P2 situation as we stand.
Sure about this, Dad?
Pull in now, go. Hopefully, that's it. That's it. Yeah, and you, mate. Yeah, nice one. Okay, make this left turn now.
Pushing broom, buys a 12-4-bedroom. I'm up.
Find out about vocational routes at edge.co.uk.
Got heartburn, indigestion? Now there's new Gaviscon Double Action, our best ever formulation to soothe the burning pain of heartburn and neutralize excess acid. For relief you can really feel. New Gaviscon Double Action. What a feeling.
Isn't it annoying that your cups and plasticware sometimes come out wet and you have to towel dry? Introducing new Finish Turbo Dry for up to 100% drier results versus any detergent alone. New Finish Turbo Dry for amazingly drier and shiny dishes straight out of the dishwasher.
You'd never wash your dishes in a dirty sink, so why wash them in a dirty dishwasher? Grease and lime scale build up on the vital parts of your dishwasher. Finish Dishwasher Cleaner dissolves them right down to the drain, and a cleaner dishwasher means cleaner dishes. Finish Dishwasher Cleaner.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. Happy will feel beyond the sea, and never again I'll go sailing.
Reminding you that Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific, it is Superbikes right here on Speed. That's right, the high-revving, tyre-shredding, wheel-standing, two-wheeled action. It's good. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a watch. Superbikes, Wednesdays at 8 Eastern, only on Speed. There's some crazy stuff. Don't you try that on your bike, Doris.
You can get hurt doing that, so I don't like getting hurt.
We're back at Belle Isle, and we're back with a new race leader. Same team, same car, but it is Timo Bernard, who really has made a name for himself in the racing world in the American Le Mans Series over the years. He's a champion, and he is on his way to winning the P2 championship with Romain Dumas, his teammate, and he's got a very healthy 12.5 seconds over Alan McNish. It's P2 over P1 at the moment. Bernard and McNish, top two positions overall in the race. We go back to GT2, and it is still Mika Salo, Eric Ellery, and Dirk Muller. But this is the scrap for second place here. This is Ellery and Muller pushing hard in the Ferrari 430s. Down the front straight, this is turn one. And look behind, you've got both the Flying Lizard machines. The 44 is first up, though, with Darren Law behind the wheel, and then Johannes van Overbeek behind him.
Porsche guys have got to find a way to get in front of the Ferraris. I mean, they're losing ground. 3 races to go to after this one. Doesn't give them much time to get the job done, but the Ferraris have been stellar here since they've unloaded.
Well, Mika Salo may not have got the pole in GT2, but he's certainly showing them. He's already pushed out a 10-second lead over the sister car. He is flying.
Well, Eric Ellery is having a great run here this afternoon, currently running down in second spot. But I spoke to Giuseppe Risi after Mosport, where it looked like Eric was having a good run there. I said, did the tyres go away? He said, no, Eric is just really struggling with traffic. Remember, most of his experience is in the prototype rank, so when you drop down to the GT2 cars, you have to look not only forward, but also in your side view mirrors. It's really a distraction, and he's just really having to adapt to that. But he's holding a pretty good pace. Great battle there with Dirk Muller.
Calvin, that being said, and me being able to have driven both types of cars, it's actually harder sometimes to drive the GT2 car. There's more complex things to have to deal with. You're not just racing the other cars in your class, but here come the prototype guys. You got to be cognizant of them and have them pass you in a manner that won't slow you up with your race with your whoever your competitor is.
Just to quickly go back, because we spoke about it during the break, what was your take on the Salo-Briscoe incident?
Well, you know, I think Mika Salo had the corner by standards that we used to use as to whose right it was to turn in. He had the lead. Certainly the second car was faster. The P2 car was a quicker car, and he could have heated to it, but rules of the road wise, it was his corner.
Look at this. This is a great scrap. And black flag for Ryan Briscoe. That was timing, perfect timing. We were just talking about that. Briscoe has been black flagged for the contact with the 62 of Mika Salo. So
well, I'm glad
officials agree with you, Doris.
I'm glad for once. They didn't used to when I raced. I don't get it.
And the 6 is in. Briscoe is on pit lane.
This is a black flag, open black flag, which is a demand flag. It means you have to come in to your pit stall. He'll stop and go.
4, 3, 2, 1, stop and go.
And go. That's it. a release. Just must come to a stop. And in Florida, and they suffered some adversity earlier on in the race. They went down a lap early on and came back to win the P2 class. So could we see the same again today? Difficult to predict with so much longer to go. It's a 2-hour 45-minute race, and the sister Penske car leads the race. Timo Bernard still over Alan McNish in the overall top 2 positions. And then Marino Franchitti, of course, has been elevated to second in the Prototype 2 class.
Watch for red smoke coming out of this helmet, because when you get a penalty like that, you are truly mad about the situation. And you certainly don't see it the same way that the officials did or the way I called it. But his job now, as fast as you can run, and stay off the walls.
In GT1, Jan Magnussen has a 5-second advantage over Olivier Beretta. The two Works Corvettes, massive weekend for them in their hometown to be racing here on the streets of Belle Isle.
Gives you a great look at how fast this is.
Back on board with Timo Bernard, and Alan McNish is intensifying his pressure on Bernard for the lead of the race. Here's McNish.
Well, Alan McNish, let me tell you, is doing a great job in the Audi because...
Actually, I think that's a different car. The colors tricked me there. It is a 06. It looked like it was McNish coming. That's Greg Pickering, actually.
Greg Pickett
behind the wheel, I should say, and thoroughly enjoying racing in this car.
Well, he's an ex-Trans Am champion and has done a lot of that type of racing. Now he's got into a prototype car for the first time, and he's enjoying that.
Cal.
Here with Roger Penske. Roger, a tough call there on Ryan. What's your viewpoint?
Well, I think, it looked like the Ferrari closed the door, but, the rules are we made contact and we came in. The good news is we didn't hurt the car, so we got some work to do here, but fortunately the 7 car is running well, just as we talked earlier in the race, before the race. We got to stay out of trouble, and I guess we got some work to do.
You throw some of that Penske magic at it with strategy now?
Well, we got a couple ideas. We'll see what happens. Long way to go.
All right, mate. Thanks a lot.
Ryan Briscoe playing the catch-up game. It was costly. It dropped him to 8th overall and 5th in class. And now Greg Pickett's in trouble. In the 06 Lola.
See Greg move offline, get over against the wall as much as he can. A lot of racing years of experience behind that seatbelt.
Well, Greg actually...
You cannot shift it by hand. You can recycle the computer, turn the car off, turn the master back on to make sure that the paddle shift switch is up. There are 2 switches to the left of it. Push them both up into the on position. They're the override switches.
What he's talking about is a gearbox failure. Greg unable to shift the car. These cars are...
You cannot shift it. It won't run. It won't go forward. Go.
Cars have a...
Put it into tower 7. Map position 7 on the engine tonight.
Electronic shifters on these, Lee. You have to push buttons to make them shift. That's not working. What they're doing now is trying to talk Greg through an override system. You flip a couple switches, get the safeties off, if you will. You told him go to map 7.
So he's just conversing with the team, receiving some help, and he is stranded. A former Trans Am race winner here at Belle Isle, Greg Pickett. And while we were watching Greg try and handle his issues and problems, the scrap in GT2 is just getting better. Dirk Muller has got by Eric Ellery for 2nd in class. Check this out.
This is through turn 1. Now they're going to switch back to turn 2, go across the bridge I talk about. You get loose right here. Up into 3. Good run. Very good run.
Ferrari factory driver Dirk Muller currently leads the GT2 class in the FIA GT Championship as well. Brian?
Lee, I was just talking to Dale White down there, who's one of the team principals at White Lightning Motorsports, and what he had said was that we were faster than the Ferrari in front of us. We just couldn't find a way by. Well, it looks like Dirk Muller finally got that good run off turn 2, able to make the move, and right now, clear sailing in front. They're going to see if he can catch down that other Ferrari that's up in front.
So it's shaping, it's molding into a good battle already. Bernard up front, McNish sitting second. He's 13.4 seconds in arrears. We'll monitor that when we come back.
So the hunt is on. Alan McNish hunting down Timo Bernhardt, race leader, 13.4 seconds. The gap at the moment. Can Alan close that down? Marino Franchitti still third. Marco Werner still fourth, as we're listening to just the radio communication still between the Saito Sport team. Let's go back to our commentators. Oh, we got an off. That is, no, we're not going back to them yet. That's Mika Salo. He's off now. Mika Salo, who got involved with Ryan Briscoe just a couple of minutes ago. He himself has been put off into the wall. No damage by the look on the outside there, but he got pushed off again by one of the LMP2 cars. Let's see, hope we see that again in a moment. I know that when we come back with speed, they'll be talking about that. They'll be showing that again, but we're on board then again with Dirk Muller, Porsche factory driver, out on loan at the moment. Full course yellow. We've got a full course yellow. There's oil on the track and something's going on there. So here we go. 20 laps into this race. This race scheduled to run 2 hours 45 minutes. First time they've ever raced here, so nobody knows what that's going to translate into. Waiting to see where the safety car gets picked up, and now we've got to avoid the problems they had at Motorsport. There's been contact, hasn't there again with the Tafel car there. Quite a lot of damage on the side of that car, so he's been into the wall. That is more than just a contact with Salo, isn't it? I hope we're going to see that again, but well, everything coming apart at the moment here at Detroit. Just going back to Motorsport, what happened there was after the second accident they had in the race, second full course yellow, the safety car failed to pick up the race leader. Hadn't realised it was one of the yellow Penske Porsches, thought it was waiting for an Audi, waved the Porsches by, and then the Porsches themselves realised the mistake, backed off, waved some GT2 cars by, which they had just passed, as they'd been told to do in the driver's briefing. A number of those GT2 cars, including the Peterson White Lightning car, all got 1 or 2 minute penalties, stop-go penalties in the pits. Big protests followed, and in fact even more than that, Bill Milner withdrew his PTG panels, the car of Bill Albelin, and so a lot of problems going on there, a lot of unhappiness, and some people even wanting the GT2 category made null and void from there.
Follow Endurance Racing with Michelin.
Freeparking.co.uk, the easy way to get your business online.
The Lurgan Park Rally was the last stop on the Irish National Rally Championship. RPM Rally, the Lurgan Park Rally, Saturday, September the 8th from 1:30 in the afternoon.
Experience the power of stealth. Gillette Fusion Power Stealth. Fusion Power is so advanced and you barely feel the blades. Turn it on. Soothing micropulses help you reduce friction and increase razor glide. Feel the difference for yourself. The comfort of 5 blades plus the precision of 1. Gillette Fusion Power Stealth.
Everyone knows a bloke like Mickey. To Mickey, hair isn't just hair. It's a weapon to be used to devastating effect. Mickey hates flakes. Of course, he's got a look for every occasion. There's the fluffy puppy, windswept and interesting. The intellectual, plain gorgeous. And his personal favourite, morning hair. Like Mickey, Blokes Who Know voted Head & Shoulders #1 in FHM's Readers' Poll.
Sky Broadband is here. To get the most out of Sky with Sky Broadband, visit sky.com/broadband.
Want long-lasting relief from heartburn and indigestion? Just one tablet can control your excess stomach acid for up to 12 hours. Zantac for long-lasting relief.
Join Motors TV this Saturday, September the 8th from 3 p.m. for a top-draw double-header of British motor racing from Thruxton. The action gets underway with round 9 of the British F3 Championship. Estonian sensation Marko Asma will be out to build on his championship lead. That will be followed by another action-packed race from the British GT Series at 4. Jonathan Cocker is out to continue his dominance. Racing with Michelin.
Freeparking.co.uk. The easy way to get your business online.
We're back in Detroit, but we're looking forward to the next round of the American Le Mans Series, Petit Le Mans, from the legendary Road Atlanta, and that is Saturday, October 6th. While we're away, we have a new race leader. Alan McNish in the #1 Audi Sport North America diesel-powered R10 is at the head of this field, which would bring delight, relief, and a smile to many in the Audi camp's face. Brian.
Adrian Fernandez now climbing behind the wheel in number 15 Lowe's Acura. Luis Diaz with a good run, and interestingly enough, they stayed out a couple laps longer than the Porsche of Ryan Briscoe, so this Acura obviously getting good fuel mileage right now. Fernandez, very experienced at this racetrack. 9 starts, he won the Indy Light race here. You hear the crew saying go, go, the fueling was done, now they can change the tires. He's won here in Indy Lights competition. 8 IndyCar races here, he finished second in 1998, so he knows this racetrack. Go, 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 go. There's the crew. Go, 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 go. That stop, very quick one indeed.
And Diaz going 4 minutes longer than what Briscoe did. So 1 hour, 21 minutes on that initial tank of fuel. And Guy Smith is still out there. And this is the race leader. And speaking of Guy Smith still being out there, here he is now. So it's finally time to be refueled. That was a solid opening stint from the Englishman.
Guy Smith brings it in, struggles a little bit there with the seatbelts in getting out, but there should be plenty of time. They're going to retire change as well, so that should allow for any slight snafu on the driver getting in. It's going to be Chris Dyson, of course, taking over here, and this team really starting to gel. Spoke to Chris Dyson this weekend. He said, we're finally getting somewhere with the engineering on these Porsches. They're very complicated. Meanwhile, trouble on track.
Oh, big trouble for the GT2 Championship hopefuls. Flying Lizard, the 45. Johannes van Overbeek coming together with the 71 of Robin Liddell in turn 1.
And Liddell's car has got major damage. It's got fluid everywhere. I'm not sure about Johannes van Overbeek. I think he's hurt too. The wings askew. Very bad at the back. Yeah, this is very bad.
What
has happened?
This car's leaking oil all over the place. I don't know that he knows that, but these cars from behind have to watch out.
This is Robin Liddell, the Scottish driver, who had drama earlier in the weekend. Fluid draining from that car. Let's take a look at what happened. Van Overbeek and Liddell, turn one.
Boy, and Van Overbeek just drills. That was Van Overbeek's fault. Sorry, but I mean, he gets in the back and turns. Another look here. Definitely hits Liddell. And I told you, if you go around in turn one, what you're going to do is hit that wall, and they hit back to back, and that's where the damage was done.
Boy, it has been an expensive weekend, not only financially, but energy-wise. An energy-sapping weekend for Taffel Racing and their crew. They had 2 damaged cars in the opening session yesterday, and now the 71 is hammered again.
Now, I'm not sure if the race control realizes that this car is spewing probably just water, but it is definitely leaking fluid all over the racetrack.
Wow. Well, championship implications for the 45. How badly damaged is the Flying Lizard Porsche, and how much time will Johannes Van Overbeek lose to Mika Salo? That is hurting their championship hopes. That was one of our low storylines. Flying Lizard must rebound here in Detroit. Well, for the 45, the car that's closest, Jörg Bergmeister and Johannes Van Overbeek, it is not happening. And we are under our second full course caution. We'll sort all this out and be back to Belle Isle in just a moment.
Well, second full course caution, lap 59, and how unlucky was that for our then race leaders, for Guy Smith and just before him Ryan Briscoe. If they could have gone for one more lap, they would have been able to pit under full course and probably come out still in the lead. Huge damage to Robin Liddell's car there. That's the Taffel Porsche that was crashed yesterday, Friday morning, very heavily. It's been involved in a number of incidents. As we saw, though, absolutely not his fault. Johannes Van Overbeek just taking a hugely opportunistic move from the outside. He was actually several laps ahead of this car out of the race, quite obviously. I would imagine Johannes Van Overbeek probably also heading behind the wall, but will he come back out? As we've heard Lee Diffie and Dorsey Schroeder talking about their championship hopes. The only team that could still beat Rizzi Competizione's Ferraris, the Flying Lizard team, looks like their championship challenge is over, and with it, of course, Porsche's hopes of regaining the GT2 crown here in the ALMS. Those cars, unfortunately, the Flying Lizard car, Jörg Bergmeister on board, factory driver, and it's all left now to the other Flying Lizards car, Darren Law, Patrick Long, to carry the flag for that team. So Alan McNish, he leads from Timo Bernhardt and Marco Werner. 60 laps now completed. Audi 1 and 3, and it does look like this race could be coming, doesn't it, to the diesel cars. It really does look strong. They're going to have issues of fuel, of course, when they have to make their next stops. They'll probably have to stop more frequently. I think possibly still 2 more stops. There is the Van Overbeek car. He's continuing, but how long is that damage at the back of the car going to hold together, or it's going to start falling off? There's a lot of smoke coming out of the car, as we can see already, so I think he is in trouble. That's not just rubbing on tyres.
Speed's coverage of the Detroit Sports Car Challenge is brought to you by Lexus and their pursuit of perfection, and by Michelin, a better way forward. Back at Belle Isle, pit lane has been opened, and it is a flurry of activity. Cal.
It is. Alan McNish pits from the lead, turns it over to Dindo Capello. I think this yellow and the timing of it may hurt the Audi cab just a little bit. We talked about them going about an hour on fuel. We got well over that to get to the checkered flag here this afternoon, so this could be a strategy that may hurt them. So it's going to be a fuel tank of fuel. Dindo Capello waiting for tires. Meanwhile, the Penske's, we've seen so many times before, fast on pit lane, they grab the overall lead back from Alan McNish and Dindo Capello. Meanwhile, right behind the one machine is the 2 car. They get a very quick stop, and now there's some kind of issue. They're refueling the car again, just topping it off. I think they realized they were stuck behind the 1 car in pit lane, decided to see if they get any extra fuel in the tank. And meanwhile, Sasha Massener's in. Remember, he was here just a short while ago. There's tires everywhere. A lot of congestion here on pit road. I think the loser there was the one machine for sure.
Well, they almost came together, Cal. Kiro and and Capello almost hit leaving pit road.
And the one car, definitely, you're right, Calvin. The worst for all of that, no doubt about that. That pit stop, very slow compared to the Penske. But then all the confusion with the two Audis almost cost them contact in pit lane.
It was unbelievable. Pirro was ready to go, and they reconnected the fuel hose, which is a pretty smart call on the fly there. They're thinking, well, if we have to wait, let's make sure we've got it topped off, and they still couldn't get out. So it was major congestion here, but some delay there on the one machine for sure.
But there was discussion, Cal, wasn't there, post-Road America about the intra-team rivalry and getting too close to each other, not hitting each other. That's standard team policy. They almost did it right there.
Now it's very tight there getting out of these pit boxes. There's not a lot of maneuverability. This long wheelbase Audi, and Pirro's looking ahead. He said, I got nowhere to go. I'm just sitting here and might as well have an ice cream. But meanwhile, the rest of the boys, and there's a lot of scratching of the heads right now here in the Audi camp to try and understand what went wrong there a little bit on the pit stop.
Well, Cal, there's an hour 15 just short of that to go when they pulled out. That makes it close for the Audi, doesn't it, compared to the Porsche? Oh, and we have trouble on the racetrack. I don't know what car this is. Something's thrown up on fire.
It's the 45 of Johannes Van Overbeek. He is out of the car. You can see his helmet. Van Overbeek is clear of the car.
And he needs to get clear of that smoke because that's very toxic. This is the car that crashed in turn one that went back out with the wing askew. Something at the back of that obviously has caught fire and it's burning down as we speak.
And this is the end of their GT2 championship hopes. It has literally gone up in flames. For Bergmeister, for Van Overbeek, the championship chase is over.
Taking a while to get to this car. Here comes the fire trucks, and it's fully engulfed by this point in time. Overbeek is out. He looks to be okay. He probably inhaled some of those fumes. I've done that before. Not pleasurable.
The Flying Lizard pilot is clear of the burning car. And if you've just joined us, this was as a result of earlier contact between he and Robin Liddell of Tafel Racing. The two GT2 Porsches came together in turn one, and boy, this is a handful for the fire marshals.
Well, now the truck is on it, though, and that will definitely blow it out. You know, the handhelds, those guys with the handhelds did a great job to try to contain the fire, but it's going too much, which means to me he's either cut through an oil line or a fuel line as a result of that wreck, and it has ignited, and that was feeding that fire.
A quick exit for Johannes Van Overbeek. Now, check it out. This was the incident earlier. Van Overbeek in to Robin Liddell, spins the car, and then they hit.
Back to back. And, of course, the damage to the back of the car. And this is, look out through here. You see something leaking. And, look, flame underneath the car. So this could be gasoline on the windshield we're looking at. And the car is definitely being, that fire is fueled by either oil or gas.
That was the view from Dirk Muller. And the final replay, this is where it really lets go. And Van Overbeek knows that there's trouble at this stage.
Yeah, this is a fueled fire from probably gasoline. Here goes Johannes getting out of the car. It took him a while to get unbelted and so forth. Like I say, those fumes are not good to be breathing. He's finally going to get himself out of that. He's trying to be safe for, you know, for the car. I think he wants to go in and hit the fuel system or the fire system.
And this is what it was like for Sasha Masson to drive through this blanket of smoke.
And is there anybody in here? I hope not. Pretty scary moment when you have to do that.
But driver safe and clear from danger, and the car is now in the hands of the safety marshals who have extinguished the fire. But that really, really hurts Flying Lizard and their campaign for a GT2 title. Quick reminder for you that voting for the annual Most Popular Driver Award is underway now on AmericanLeMans.com. The winner will be honoured at the series awards banquet at Laguna Seca later this year in October. So log on and make your vote count at AmericanLeMans.com. Rick Dole getting another award-winning snap.
Brands Hatch meets its match. The perfect track for the sizzling FIA World Touring Car Championship. Prestigious manufacturers BMW, Alfa Romeo, Seat and Chevrolet. And the top guns in saloon car racing, including Britain's James Thompson in the Alfa and the BMW star Andy Prio, winner of the title in the last 2 seasons. The FIA World Touring Car Championship, September 22 and 23. Get all the info at brandshatch.co.uk. Go.
See the Avon Tyres British GT Championship and watch some of the world's top supercars compete on the UK's best circuits. The reigning GT3 champions Aston Martin will do battle with Porsche, Lotus and Ascari, plus a host of new challengers including Lamborghini, Ferrari and the awesome Dodge Vipers. The penultimate rounds at Croft in North Yorkshire on Sunday the 9th.
Are you sure about this, Dad?
Pull in now, go. Go for it, that's it, that's it. No. Yeah, and you, mate. Yeah, nice one. Okay, mate, this left turn, now.
Pushing broom buys a 12-4-bedroom mama.
Find out about vocational routes at edge.co.uk.
Cold sores? I hate how they feel and look. When I feel one, I want it gone. Fast.
Think fast. Think Zavarax. It starts to work immediately. Nothing fights the virus faster.
So I'm my real self again. Fast.
Think fast. Think Zavarax.
Want long-lasting relief from heartburn and indigestion? Just one tablet can control your excess stomach acid for up to 12 hours. Zantac for long-lasting relief.
The return of motor racing to the Motor City, and earlier this week there was a special press luncheon welcoming everybody to Belle Isle. Of course, this is a big weekend, a joint weekend with not only the American Le Mans Series but the IndyCar Series as well, and just one of many events happening this weekend. We're getting ready to go green, and let's get an update from pit road before we do.
Well, both the GT2 front-running cars were in, both the 62 machine, Mika Salo, turning it over to Jamie Mello, though, took fuel and tyres. About 15 minutes left, so they should be good to go. Also, the 44 car having a great run, they were also in, Lee.
We go green, and look at that, how about that on the inside? Forceful stuff, impatient. And Pirro says, I want to lead this motor race. Inside, big move, Stefan Johansson getting forceful.
Wow, a lot of stuff going on at this restart there. No yellow so far, but this first lap is not over.
Stefan Johansson, the Swede, loves racing in Detroit. He had multiple events here, back at the old circuit in the Formula One days, and then he raced here during the Champ Car days as well. He now adds a third discipline to his resume, American Le Mans Series, and he's loving it in this hard fight in Prototype 2.
Johansson right in the middle of it, but remember guys, a lot of downforce gone off the front end of that car, combined with you get stuck up right up behind somebody, that takes downforce anyway, so I'm sure Stefan Johansson's going to have his handful. Well, the good news for Audi with the prolonged caution period there.
Calvin, he's lost it. Johansson has lost it. He was right there with Sasha Masson and spun.
And he made contact with Sasha as he spun. They hit wing to wing. I do not know for sure if the Penske car has damage to the wing, but they definitely hit tail to tail.
Go get him. Go get him.
And you can categorize that as fortunate in one aspect, that he did not collide with any of the concrete walls around here.
You see damage to the winglets in the front that Brian was talking about before. But more importantly that, those rear wings, if they've knocked those askew or if they've damaged those, it's going to be catastrophic.
Back on the job, but let's take you back and have a look at what happened to Stefan Johansson. On-board view first up.
This is going into turn 8, the high-level braking gear. Watch ahead. Clean through there. Up the next corner, left-hander. Makes a move. It doesn't get the job done.
I think he realized that he had to get out of it, because Sasha was not going to let him through. Different angle.
Now watch here, watch the backs. Wow, big hit. The number 6 definitely has wing trouble. Penske's car has damaged the rear wing. Saw it better that time.
And here it is.
That is bad news. They cannot run the car with the wing like that.
Keep in mind, that was Masson's first flying lap. He got into the car during... Actually, I take that back. He went hard earlier on. And now look at this. It was a great comeback effort. There it goes. The rear plane. The whole top end of the wing has gone.
Boy, and it was really lucky the guy behind him didn't wear that as a face mask. Now the wing gone, no downforce at the back. He'll have to bring this car in. It also might bring a yellow out because that's a big hunk of debris laying out there. There it is.
And he slowed dramatically. You were riding with Sasha Masson, you saw that firsthand, and now he's limping around on the inside of the circuit.
They'll come into pits. This is pit in right here.
So mixed fortunes for Team Penske at their home race. New wing ready, Calvin.
Well, as you would expect, the Penske boys are ready. The key is going to be what other damage other than the main element being missing is there. But I would have to imagine, I haven't seen them practice the rear wing. They're working hard on the front nose change and front splitter here in the morning warm-up. But this is probably a little bit more detail. We saw on the Acura earlier this season when they tore one off on a street race at St. Petersburg. It took forever, but you'd have to think this is really taking them out of the equation for a race win here today for sure.
Well, Calvin, remarkably, the two cars hit end plate to end plate. There was no damage at the back of the car. The two wings hit side to side, so the only damage is to those uprights and that wing.
On board with our new race leader, Emanuele Pirro. He was opportunistic at the restart and has grabbed this race by the throat.
Bet he's glad he did, looking at what happened behind him.
Behind him, it's Romar Dumas, second overall, best of the P2 cars. This is the sister car, stationary in pit lane, after contact between Stefan Johansson and Sasha Masson. But let's take you right back to the restart, the most recent restart, to show you what Emanuele Pirro did. We're under another full course caution to grab that rear wing. Whoa, he just went right around the outside.
He caught Roma asleep at the wheel, and on top of that, the Audi, of course, has a lot of power, and it also has a lot of torque. When he got on the throttle, he just blasted by.
Blasted by Dorsey, and the other good news for Audi is with all these courses, as I was trying to get to before Stefan had his issue, they are now good on fuel. Checked in with Brett Kettler.
I'm not sure where the pace car is.
Radio communication there.
We'll tell you what to do.
That's Ron Mathers, one of the engineers, on the radio to Emanuele Pirro to inform him exactly what's going on. Remember the confusion at Mosport just 1 week ago. Pirro should have been McNish's wingman that day, but there's some confusion under the yellow. He laid too far back. That cost him a lap. He got stuck in pit lane when the pace car drove by. Certainly cost Audi victory here that day. Meanwhile, work continues here on the number 6 car. The new rear wing is going back on, so this is a pretty fast change, but a little bit more complex than the front for sure.
And a frustrated Sasha Masson sits idle. Reminding you about Lowe's Fantasy Racing on AmericanLeMans.com. It's one of the most popular offerings on the website. Sports car fans can race against other drivers, other fans on the series' best road courses and win prizes. That's Lowe's Fantasy Racing on AmericanLeMans.com.
Follow Endurance Racing with Michelin.
freeparking.co.uk. The easy way to get your business online.
The cars and stars of the Japan-based Super GT series made their way to perhaps the finest circuit in the world, Suzuka, for 1,000 kilometers of high-speed action. The best moments from the Suzuka 1000, Saturday, September the 8th, from 5 in the afternoon.
Are you sure about this, Dad? Pull in now, go. Go for it, that's it, that's it. No. Yeah, and you, mate. Yeah, nice one. Okay, mate, this left turn, now.
Pushing broom buys a 12-4-bedroom mama.
Find out about vocational routes at edge.co.uk.
Want to be the first to read about new cars? You can't afford to miss a weekly fix of Autocar magazine. With Autocar, you're the first with essential news, test drives, car gossip, and the world-famous Autocar road test every week. And every word is written by car enthusiasts for car enthusiasts. Autocar, first for new cars. Don't miss getting your copy. It's out every Wednesday for just £2.30.
Migraine is not just a headache. A chemical imbalance in the brain induces headache, nausea and sensitivity to light and sound. Imogran Recovery is the only treatment that tackles both the symptoms and the root cause of the migraine itself, helping to restore the chemical imbalance back to normal. Imogran Recovery, a positive way out of migraine.
Want long-lasting relief from heartburn and indigestion? Just one tablet can control your excess stomach acid for up to 12 hours. Zantac for long-lasting relief.
Dental experts tell us that acid erosion is caused by acid in our modern diets, citrus fruits, fruit juices, diet soft drinks. Your teeth may look really healthy, but only your dentist will be able to tell you if there's thinning of the tooth enamel. There are things that you can do, so it's really important that you go and see your dentist. There is a new toothpaste on the market. Sensodyne Pronamel has been specifically formulated to help protect against the effects of acid erosion. You use just like a normal toothpaste twice a day.
Former Formula One driver and touring car veteran Gianni Morbidelli will lead the list of competitors when the Italian Touring Car Championship The Superstars heads to Germany's Nürburgring for round 8 of the championship, Saturday, September the 8th at 6.
The AMA Motocross Open and Lights Championships are on Motors TV, the high-speed television network, throughout the month of September, with the season finale on September the 27th. Don't forget your crash helmet.
Follow endurance racing with Michelin.
Freeparking.co.uk. The easy way to get your business online.
It's been a pretty hectic schedule for the teams and competitors of the American Le Mans Series, but coming up a much needed break in the lead up to the big one. We always see towards the end of the year, each year on the American Le Mans Series calendar, Petit Le Mans at Road Atlanta, Saturday, October 6th. So between now and then, some much needed downtime and repair time and rest time for both drivers, teams alike, getting ready for the big one in Georgia. We're getting ready for the big one here because the end of our 4th full course caution period is now. The green flag ready to fly here at Belle Isle. Less than 24 minutes left to run. Can Pirro hang on throughout his first victory since March? Dumas looks for the inside run, flashing down on the inside. There's some lap traffic there. Dyson does a nice job of it. Dindo Capello collides with the side of the 54 of Terry Morcella, but no major drama there. Good restart, back up to speed. Leitzinger still in the mix.
Well, with 22 minutes to go, you have no patience for these cars that are out of your class to need to get them out of the way, or they're going to just push them out of the way now.
Can Audi hang on? That is the question. What's Romain Dumas got from Manuel Pirro? Can Chris Dyson go with them? What about Dindo Capello? Series champion, Le Mans 24-hour winner. Can he run with these front runners?
It is so easy to win this race here if you have the lead car. I mean, there's just, you only have to be defensive twice a lap, watch your mirrors, and there's not much you can do. Traffic, though, can play the difference, and Romain is going to have to be very aggressive to make this work for himself.
Dumas felt the wrath of the American Le Mans Series officials post-Mosport. They said it was a continuation of, well, a slight disregard for the rules, and he wasn't playing the way that he should have been. He was slapped with a $20,000 fine and points. The points and $15,000 of that $20,000 were suspended, but he is on probation. They are watching Dumas and his driving manners and etiquette very carefully. Back to GT2, and it is still Risi Competizione who lead the way with Jamie Mello. What a season it's been for Mello and for Mika Salo.
And Mello getting chewed up right now by the pair of GT1 Corvettes. You see they just now split him. That's the 4 leading the 3 car at this point. And that was a result of the last time they both pitted. The 4 got the advantage on the pit lane. No, actually it's the wrong way around. It's Johnny O that's in the lead. All right, you see right there, Jamie Mello is that Ferrari almost as quick as the Corvettes. He's not as fast on the straight line, but it took a couple laps for them both to clear him.
going for their 7th win of the season. Staying with GT2 and staying with a Ferrari, but we switched to the Peterson White Lightning team, and this is Peter Dumbreck on board. Let's take a look at some scrapping going on here. This is a close call with the 73. Wow. Jim Taffel.
Taffel didn't know he was there, or whatever it turned in. That's turn 3. I said most of the incidents would happen there today.
And the front of the Dumbreck machine does not look badly damaged at all.
The other thing I'm noticing that this time of day, the sun really becomes a factor. You see a lot of debris right there in that straightaway. The sun really a factor going down into some of these corners. It gets pretty darn hairy in a racetrack that's hard to see anyway. Locked up right front tire there.
And the 61 of Jimmy Bruni putting the pressure on. This is 4th position. Ferrari scrapping it out. This is good. This is good stuff. You remember that historic, that classic footage of the Mercedes flying through the air at Le Mans? Well, this is the guy in the 31. Bruni is trying to get a lap back, getting ahead of Dumbreck, but Dumbreck is not making his passage easy, is he? Being defensive even though it's not for position. Trying to stay on the GT2 podium here in Michigan. Less than 20 minutes to run here at Belle Isle. Pirro still leads Dumas at the front of this race by just over a second. Now how about this for some gratitude? Thank you to Roger Penske, and there is the program manager Doug Feehan from Corvette Racing. Every single member of Corvette Racing signed that. And a big thank you to Mr. Penske, and what a job he has done.
Well, as always, fabulous GT2 battles going on there, and Peter Dumbreck in the thicket of a game. We saw him in the Suzuka 1000 kilometers just a couple of weeks back, involved in a first lap corner incident. There he's again. Oh, there's more bits flying there. Bits coming off cars, and there's all sorts of dramas going on here at Detroit, but will Peter get a drive-through for that incident with Jim Taffel spinning him out down at turn 2? We hope not, because Peter's done a good job this afternoon. He's still in 3rd place. He's holding off Ginny Brummy, as we've seen. And let's go back to the main battle then. Emmanuel Pirro and Romain Dumas really going hammer and tongs. 1 second between the two of them. This is Dindo Capello trying to get past Chris Dyson, but Chris is making that little Porsche in P2 as wide as he can, and superb racing going on here this afternoon. As we say, just 20 minutes to go, and everything to play for here. Audi so determined to get this first win of the season since St. Pete. It would be only their 3rd win in the 10 races. Let's go back to Detroit.
Welcome back. You join us for the closing stages of the Detroit Sports Car Challenge presented by Bosch. It's round 10 of the American Le Mans Series. Audi over Porsche at the moment, 1 and 2. It's Emmanuel Pirro over Romain Dumas. And not only is there a great fight here for the overall lead of this motor race, the scrap continues in GT2 and a penalty in GT2. We saw Peter Dumbreck contact Jim Taffel and knock him out of the way, and he is serving a drive-through stop-go.
Yeah, that didn't go unnoticed. He hit Taffel and spun him in turn 3. Now he's come in and made his stop and go. We'll take a look at the incident that happened earlier. That's Jim Taffel right in front of Peter. This is the brake zone up into turn 3. Not clearly alongside, and he hits him in the quarter panel, and around he goes. Actually hit him right on the tire.
Now take a look at this. Patrick Long has put in some very consistent and solid laps to bridge the gap to the lead car in GT2. Jamie Mello suddenly has a Flying Lizard Porsche in its rearview mirror.
We talked about the Ferrari-Porsche battle. This man brought in to get the job done for Porsche, and he's doing it.
He was brought in to take some points away from the Ferrari, and that may happen. But if you've just joined us, the really harsh thing for Flying Lizard the team is that their lead car, the 45 of Johannes van Overbeek with Georg Bergmeister, is no longer in this race. It went out in the most spectacular of fashions, up in flames, literally.
Lead Drivers' Championships are great, but you well know this is about Manufacturers' Championships right now. That's exactly why Patrick Long was brought in, and he needs to be there because we saw the problems early for Robin Liddell and Johannes van Overbeek that eventually led to that fire on the 45 car. Both of those cars were in it for championship points for Porsche. They were both knocked out, so it's good news for Porsche that they brought Patrick Long in, because when that incident happened between the 71 and the 45, boys from Porsche down here were not very happy with either one of those drivers. Right now, they've got one more bullet left in the gun, and that's in the hands of Patrick Long.
That's a great point, Brian. I mean, the Manufacturers' Championship is the most important thing. And from two Porsche drivers who knock each other out, that's not going to sit well. This man is a factory Porsche driver, Pat Long. He said in his interview, I'm going to displace every Ferrari I can find. He's found him one.
2005 Co-GT2 champion. Here he is. Originally from California, lives in Florida, and he wants this Ferrari. He wants the lead. And remember, these two teams have history. It started right at the beginning of this year at the 12 Hours of Sebring.
If you're a factory driver like I used to be, like Pat is, you know what your job is. Your job is, I don't care, don't be the nice guy, do whatever it takes, but get that Porsche in front of that Ferrari. And he knows what his job is.
Flying Lizard has had 2 victories this year and has not been with the 44. It's been the lead car, the 45 machine. But Patrick Long can change all of that right here today. You remember that dramatic finish at Sebring earlier this year? When Jamie Mello came through and hip and shouldered Georg Bergmeister out of the way and took the win right at the line by less than a car length. Well, Patrick Long may be able to seek some revenge here today on the streets of Belle Isle.
13 and a half minutes remain.
These two cars are so equally matched that what's going to be interesting is when they catch or if they get caught by another car, because they're so close together right now, it doesn't look very much like either could pass them without a little help from something else happening.
Quick update up front with 13 and a half minutes to go. The lead is 2.2 seconds, Pirro over Dumas, but let's go down into the Risi camp.
Jamie Mello's teammate is Mika Sala. Mika, with the championship positioned the way it is, the 45 car in trouble today. How hard will Jamie defend this lead right now?
Win is always win, so I'm pretty sure Jamie wants to win much as me. So, but also in this track you can't overtake if you don't make a mistake. So I think biggest thing is now not to make a mistake and not to let them by.
Looked like a great battle there. You took the lead early, but the Porsches kept hanging in there. And unlike last week where you solely caught a break, all of the GT2 cars caught a break with that yellow.
Yeah, I was close again because I thought he passed me on the yellow, the leader in the first yellow. And but the organizer said he didn't, but I think he did actually. But they didn't give us lap this time. But yeah, we were also very unlucky now at the end. We were leading by a lap already, and the 44 car got the lap back in the last yellow. So let's see what happens.
It's time down here, but big smiles nonetheless. A big championship day for these boys, Lee.
And there's someone who understands what team racing is all about when he filled in the Ferrari Formula One team, had the opportunity to win a Grand Prix but played the team game as he was asked to do. Salo on his way to a GT2 championship in 2007.
With a new generation of engines and Sport Switch for a more responsive drive, Astra, fall in love with driving again.
Desert 400. Buy your tickets now.
Are you sure about this, Dad? Pull it now, go. Go for it, that's it. That's it. No. Yeah, and you, mate. Yeah, nice one. Okay, mate, this left turn now.
Pushing broom buys a 12-4-bedroom mama.
Find out about vocational routes at edge.co.uk.
Go down to your local Vauxhall retailer, with the Astra is available with 4 years 0% finance and 30% deposit.
If you've just joined us, you have joined us at a thrilling moment. We throw you right into the middle of a fight for the win of this race. Emanuele Pirro for Audi Sport North America in the diesel-powered R10 up against the Prototype 2, the Penske Porsche of Romain Dumas. They both lead their respective class, but both really want to win this race. And time is running out. 5.5 minutes to go for Emanuele Pirro to break this Porsche run of success.
For Romain Dumas, what he needs to have happen is, one, Pirro make a mistake, which he's not likely to do, or two, have Pirro blocked at the entrance to a straightaway run so he doesn't get that huge advantage.
A lot of the key figures involved with the various manufacturers in this series are here this weekend. And Audi, not only does it have its top man here, Johan de Nysschen, it has over 300 guests, 300 VIPs here to watch what could be a momentous occasion for them of breaking the drought. We climb aboard the Highcroft Racing Acura. Stefan Johansson, he had that scary moment earlier, spun after colliding with the back of Sasha Masson. Regained his composure, got it all going in the right direction, sits in the top 5 overall. He is on the podium in P2 at the moment.
Could look that he's trying to get a position away from Butch Leitzinger, who's running right up there in front. Oh, but look at this. This is the overall lead battle, and it's getting very close.
Dumas is turning it up on Emanuele Pirro. 4.25 minutes to go.
And he's trying to get inside.
Inside Romain Dumas. Side by side they hit. And he pushes Emanuele Pirro out of the way.
It's exactly what he had to do. He had to get it done right there. This is the straightaway. Can Pirro come back by turn 1? Or turn 8, rather. He's looking.
Got it, the inside run. Pirro goes through in the excitement of the team. Pirro back in the lead, but he needs to hold on to it. He doesn't. He goes wide, and Dumas back in front.
Now it's over. Dumas just got it done right there. Unless he makes a mistake, there's no straightaway coming up, not for the next 3 or 4 corners.
This is where the Frenchman can get the advantage, can get the gap that may be too large to retrieve for Emanuele Pirro. Now they're in a straight line. What's Emanuele got here?
Nothing till he gets to the front straightaway by us. And Dumas got to make that corner perfect. Turn 14 right here coming up. He's got to nail it.
Is the gap too great already? Marco Werner anxiously looks on. He's got to hang on for another 3 minutes, 20 seconds. It may be enough for Dumas to hang on. And Werner is not happy. He says, what about the contact?
And traffic ahead's not going to be good for either of them.
Traffic plays fair there. Oh, and now this is hurting. This is hurting Pirro a little bit. Dumas is running away. Let's take you back, show you the replay. Make your mind up yourself. Is this fair from Dumas? Up into turn 7, once, twice?
Absolutely fair. He was inside. They were side by side. They hit side by side. He muscled by. But look at this. I told you about the power in the straightaway. Look at the Audi power. He didn't block. He tried to. Dumas on probation. Thought about throwing a block. Didn't do it. But look at this. Too much speed. And that was the decisive move.
Was that the pivotal moment in this race? Highly likely. 2.25 minutes to go. And you ride with Emanuele Pirro. Romain Dumas is running away with this race. That was it. And the Porsche aerial cam from above shows us the lead margin.
Boy, listen to that throttle. He's on it now.
1.8 seconds. The advantage to Dumas, to the Penske Porsche. And this will be their 8th victory in a row overall if Dumas can keep it neat and tidy for another minute and a half. Well, he was patient, he thought about it, and then made his move.
He fully knew what his job was and what he had to do. He had to make that pass somewhere at the end of a straightaway. Take a look at that side-by-side bumping incident again, but I want you to look at the position of the cars. Here they are, pretty much side-by-side. I mean, both drivers are aware the other was there. Pirro won't be happy about it, that's for sure.
Well, Werner wasn't all that thrilled either, but that's just racing. That's just good, hard racing. He put his car in a position, he was far enough up alongside Pirro and just muscled him out of the way.
And he did it exactly where it had to happen, at the end of the straightaway. 1 lap to go as we get the one finger from the starter.
Roger Penske looks on. He has put so much time, energy and effort into creating something special for not only the American Le Mans Series, but motor racing in general. Remember, it's a doubleheader weekend. The IndyCar Series race tomorrow, and Mr. Penske has done an amazing job. And this will cap it off, won't it? Pole position, locked out the front row, and in less than 2 miles, Romain Dumas will collect a victory for the DHL Penske team.
And there's no way in the world Emanuele Pirro can catch him without some sort of mistake. Romain knows that as well.
That was too engaging to leave, so no apologies there, but I will update you that Mello still leads GT2, O'Connell still leads GT1, so you have missed nothing there. And Dumbrek has been able to, despite that stop-go penalty, hang on to his 3rd place due to the advantage he had over Jimmy Bruni. But they're going to do it again, aren't they? Timo Bernard and Romain Dumas in the 7 Penske Porsche. What an amazing performance. And this is their 6th overall victory in the number 7, but it will be the 8th for the team. And they do it! Penske does it! In Detroit, Romain Dumas and Timo Bernard victorious again. The Audi drought continues. And some delighted Penske team members. For Jeff Swartout, the team manager, Roger Penske, Tim Sidrick, and John Ericsson, all the team will be delighted with that. The GT2 scrap has been wonderful today. And the Ferrari 430 of Mika Salo and Jamie Mello, they extend their championship lead over the 45 Flying Lizard car. And the 3, well, Calvin joked earlier for Johnny O'Connell and Jan Magnussen about 1 in a row. Well, now it will be 2 in a row.
And they
the boys from Corvette Racing.
They caught a break and got a lap up on the 4 car because of the passing by the overall leader. So it's a win. Good for those guys.
7th win for Giuseppe Risi, 3rd in a row, and that makes 8 for Penske. How about that?
Well, what a race. Doesn't get much better than that, does it? And Romain Dumas, full marks to him. What a brilliant move there. And I think most of you on the forum agreed that just muscling Pirro to one side is not a racing hit. You know, certainly nothing should be penalised, even if he's under probation at the moment, as we saw Marco Werner not at all happy about that in the pit. But I thought it was fair. I thought it was a great finish. Dindo Capello then coming through into 3rd place at the end, so at least Audi consolidating their P1 places, 2nd and 3rd overall on the podium. Butch Leitzinger, a 2nd place for him and Andy Wallace, and a 3rd place in P2 for Stefan Johansson. But Chris Dyson in 5th place in P2 does keep alive the fight between Penske and the Dyson team, certainly for the drivers' points, with 49 points available at the last race. In comes Romain Dumas, heading for his pit. Look, he's so happy. He's very careful there not to take his belts off, or his helmet. He's got his belts off, but not going to take his helmet off till he gets at the end. His team just cannot believe it. This is a famous victory, as we've heard Roger Penske organising the revival of the Detroit Grand Prix here, and it's one of his cars that has beaten the might of Ingolstadt of Audi here. But tomorrow, DT DTM, and how can Audi come back with that? Audi have the first 3 places on the grid, DTM at the Nürburgring, so they're definitely going to be out for revenge there tomorrow. Great racing by everyone. I hope we can find that Romain Dumas and Emmanuel Perrault can shake hands over this great race. Johnny O'Connell, as you saw, winning in GT1 from Ollie Gavin. There was a lap difference there. No contest otherwise from that. And in GT2, Jamie Mello extending his lead over Patrick Long to 20 seconds at the end. I think Patrick in that Porsche just getting the best of his tires by the end of that. Peter Dumbreck in 3rd place. Good job by the Flying Scotsman. And Jimmy Bruni, who started from the GT2 pole, coming home in 4th place and the second of the Rizzi cars. Well, this has been Mark Cole, and we're going to go back to the speed commentators in a minute, we think, just for the final scenes. But it's been great being with you tonight. We'll be with you again ALMS in October at Petit Le Mans, the 10-hour race from Road Atlanta.
Well, first of all,
Follow endurance racing with Michelin.
Freeparking.co.uk. The easy way to get your business online.
From 2 wheels to 4, from off-road to rally and road racing, motor racing is a dangerous proposition. In Best of Crash, we'll bring you the most spectacular shunts and run-ins. Best of Crash, Saturday, September the 8th, from 6:30.
See the Avon Tyres British GT Championship and watch some of the world's top supercars compete on the UK's best circuits. The reigning GT3 champions Aston Martin will do battle with Porsche, Lotus and Ascari, plus a host of new challengers including Lamborghini, Ferrari and the awesome Dodge Vipers. The penultimate rounds at Croft in North Yorkshire on Sunday the 9th.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. Happy will feel beyond the sea, and never again I'll go sailing.
Brands Hatch meets its match. The perfect track for the sizzling FIA World Touring Car Championship. Prestigious manufacturers BMW, Alfa Romeo, Seat and Chevrolet. And the top guns in saloon car racing, including Britain's James Thompson in the Alfa and the BMW star Andy Prio, winner of the title in the last 2 seasons. The FIA World Touring Car Championship, September 22 and 23. Get all the info at brandshatch.co.uk. Go.
Are you sure about this, Dad?
Pull in now, go. Go for it, that's it. That's it. No. Yeah, and you, mate. Yeah, nice one. Okay, mate, this left turn. Now.
Pushing broom buys a 12-4-bedroom mama.
Find out about vocational routes at edge.co.uk.